Yeah, I think so.
She come up and there's some cows wearing my daddy's football costume. What are you wearing with my daddy's football jersey?
I didn't know you done that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that create commercials back then. Who's the
We
guy
did- we
who
did one.
stand up on buildings?
We did one at Maxwell Jewelers where they had the lights out, there's a table there, a candle in the middle, and Nancy Rose was trying to purchase for her sister.
No, that's it.
Overseas, that they and asked her to marry me. And it was a commercial for wedding.
Yes, no, that's good.
We did over here across the street at Maxwell Jewelers. And,
He rolled together.
3 years after that.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the October 7th, 2021 Lenoir City Board of Education meeting. Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Here.
Rick Chadwick,
Here.
Glenn McNish,
Here.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Here.
Bobby Johnson's absent.
I'll ask everyone to stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. Next, I think we have a special guest that's going to lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance, Miss Delilah Demers. Demers. Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you. All right. Item number 5, approval of agenda.
I'll entertain a motion, we approve the agenda.
I have a motion from Mr. Chadwick.
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Ledbetter. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman,
Aye.
Rick Chadwick,
Aye.
Glenn McNish,
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
All right. Item number 6, we have a presentation from 6th grade students.
Yes, Board, I'm very proud to welcome our 6th grade students who went on a field trip to Dolphin Island, and I'm going to turn the presentation over to Ms. Williams, principal of Lenoir City Intermediate Middle School, to share with you where they went, and then we will hear from our students.
I want to introduce Ms. Emily Ritz, who was one of the sixth grade teachers, sponsors. And you've met Delilah, and I would like to introduce Alan Fleming, and they're going to talk a little bit about the wonderful experience that they got to have and to express their gratitude for you all supporting us on this trip. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys, pending I can get connected.
So like Ms. Williams said, my name is Emily Ritz. I'm the 6th grade core focus teacher at Lenoir City Intermediate Middle School. And we had the opportunity to go to Dolphin Island in Dolphin Island, Alabama from September 19th through the 22nd. So that is a picture of our 30 students that were able to go. We had 36 graders and 4 chaperones that went on our trip. That is our final night during our free time swimming in the ocean. So they really enjoyed that. So Dolphin Island Sea Lab is located in Dolphin Island, Alabama, which is just south of Montgomery. What is unique about this area is that it is located in the 4th largest estuary in the United States. And so a lot of our conversation focused on brackish water, which is a mixture of salt water and fresh water coming from all of the rivers. And it was interesting to us because of all the rivers that we have in this area, we got to learn, well, where do they eventually end up? So that was a lot of the conversation that we had that week at Dolphin Island. A lot of the activities that we were able to do focused on some of our 6th grade standards. So in ELA, we just finished reading Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and we have some discussions about the Greek god Poseidon and his impact on the sea. We hit a lot of our math standards, positive and negative numbers, sea level, elevation, coordinates and the Cartesian plane, data collection, and we did a lot of problem solving in our lab and field studies. And also in science, we discussed the transfer of energy through food webs and the food pyramid. We talked about how it's necessary to provide humans with resources, but at the same time, not disrupting the environmental equilibrium. And then when we did our touch lab and dissection, we spent a lot of time talking about the taxonomic rank, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, all that stuff. So I'm gonna turn it over to Alan, who is gonna tell us a little bit about some of our activities that we did.
So on Monday, we went on a vessel ride early in the morning on a boat, and it was a lot of fun. We rode out into the Gulf, and they put out a big net and caught fish, and then they put them out on a table, and we took turns going up to it, and we went over all the types of fish. So that was really fun, and you could even ride above deck, and you could see for a long time. And then we did the Marsh walk in the afternoon, which was one of my favorites because first you could go into like a muddy marsh with nets, and you could catch, there was minnows, jellyfish, crabs, and we would go over this stuff. And then we went into the Gulf and into Mobile Bay, went out in the water with these nets and caught fish and jellyfish with nets, and did a bunch out in the ocean for like 3 or 4 hours. So that was a lot of fun.
Did I get sick?
No, we didn't.
I did that.
So that didn't happen.
I got a headache, but it wasn't too bad.
The sun can do that.
Yes.
What were some of the fish they were catching in the nets?
It was, I forget the names, but it was like what looked like bluegill. There were moonfish, I think, and they were like super thin and silver, and they were very small. They were all babies because in the estuary, that's where most of the baby fish population grows. But they were super thin, and then another type of fish, they were all dead from the net, but it was like they could grow like 6 feet long, but it was about that long. These thin fish, and they had like teeth. Luckily, they were dead. Were there eels in there? Yes. Oh yeah, and I think there were little eels in there and they had to throw all the catfish overboard, the little catfish, because they could stick you with their barbs, scales. Yeah. So yeah, that was really fun.
And then Donna's gonna talk about Tuesday activities that we did.
So we had built underwater robotics that we could like drive around to the water to pick up like sort of like different little rings in the water for like an obstacle course. And in the afternoon activities we've done, like the ocean lab, we saw all these different types like animals and like shells and and we got to like touch them and see how they were. And then we also did the squid dissection, which we looked at different parts of a little squid, and then
Okay, so the first picture, that crab, even though it was dead, came to life. Climbed on it. And then that's me in the marsh, and then my group building our rover. Ours worked. We ended up winning the contest. They give us first top of the line, front of the line at dinner.
First showers.
Did you have secrets?
Oh, and then on the boat, a funny story was when we were having to put all of the fish, a lot of them were dead, but the alive ones, we were putting them back in the, like throwing them back, and the seagulls were getting them. And Miss Ritz was desperate to save as many as she could. Like, I threw one into a seagull's mouth and she got back.
liked the boat ride in the marsh, but a really fun part of it was in the cabins. Like after we came back, after showers, we had basically free time. Me and my friends did hide and seek. We did board games in the middle room where we all hung out, and then so the cabins were really fun. Yes. So the first image is me holding one of the sea turtles that were there, and we were on the boat ride. It was actually really fun, and I was on the top deck, and it was really wavy there, and so I got a little flung back forward a little bit. Then the third one is when me and my group made a little robot for underwater things, and we named it the Colorful Sea because we had all different colorful little floats on it. Ours did not work the best. It funked along every time.
What was your favorite part?
I think my favorite part was either the boat ride or the beach because the beach was really fun to play in. Alright, I really liked the free time at the beach. That was probably the most fun because we in 4th grade at my old school, we went to a place in North Carolina called Sound Asleep, and it was kind of like this, but I didn't like it as much because they wouldn't let us. They said if your shorts got wet, you had to get out of the water, and I really didn't like that. But here you could get all the way in the water and swim, and we had a lot of fun. It was amazing. Yeah.
It's probably because of the great teachers, right?
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, thank you all so much for allowing us to go on this trip. Some kids had never been to the beach before, had never spent the night away from home. That was fun. Had never been away from home before. Had never been on a boat before. So we had lots of first-time experiences. We had a fantastic group. There was, every time we talk about it, there was nothing that we were like, oh, let's change this for next time. Next time, let's do this different. It was wonderful. So thank you all so much for allowing us to have this opportunity to go. We had a wonderful time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for what you do.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Alan and Delilah, for the presentation. Up next, item number 7, approval of the minutes from the September 23rd, 2021 regular board meeting.
Make a motion, we approve.
A motion from Glenn.
Second.
I have a second from, a motion from Mr. McNish and a second from Mr. Ledbetter. Sheila, correct me. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
All right, up next, do I hear we pay the bills?
Entertain a motion, we pay our bills.
I have a motion from Mr. Chadwick,
Second.
second from Mr. McNish. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
All right, on to new business. Item number 11, approval of the 2021 Local Education Agency Compliancy Report.
Yes, Board, this is a report that I'm required to submit each November, by November the 30th of each year, to verify that we are indeed in full compliance with all of the state of Tennessee laws and regulations regarding public schools. And we are. So I just ask that I have this completed to certify that we are in compliance with all federal and state education laws and state Board of Education policies. So I just ask that you approve this, and I will get that submitted.
Well, if you are, I'll make the motion, we approve.
I have a motion from Mr. McNish,
Second.
second from Mr. Chadwick. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Item number 12, approval to adopt the following LCBO policies. 4.213, family life education. 6.202, homeschools. These will be the policies we discussed in our last workshop.
Entertain a motion, we approve.
A
motion.
Motion from Mr. Ledbetter,
Second.
have a second, Mr. Chadwick. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Item 13, approval to revise the following LCBO policies. 6.2, attendance, 5.3051, COVID-19 sick leave. And again, these are the ones that were reviewed in our last workshop meeting.
Entertain a motion.
Have a motion from Mr. Chadwick. Second from Mr. Ledbetter. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Item 14, approval to award LCHS football turf field contract to Baseline Sports Construction. I see we have Athletic Director Chris Britton here. Chris, would you like to add anything?
Let's do it. No, I'm here to answer any questions. My input was, we're looking at it from a financial standpoint, that they were the lower bid, if you will, and the next competitor came in at almost $250,000 more to do the same project. That would be the infield baseball and the football/soccer field. And the product is a quality product. It's similar to what the other competitors quoted us with. That's what Knox County has, team down the road has as well. Looking at everything, warranty is all going to be the same. And I think just from a financial standpoint, unless we want to spend $250,000 more.
Yeah, let's do that.
To me, it's a no-brainer or my recommendation for Shaw and Baseline.
And this comes with an 8-year warranty?
8-year warranty, that's with all seams, that's them. They are local, Baseline's local out of Knoxville, so it's not like we're reaching out to out of state. And they have, I guess, an endorsement with TSSAA this year. That's kind of their I guess, recommendation of who they use.
And should we approve when we get started? I'm sorry.
I'm glad. Do you have a picture of it? What it looked like? Or
I
just the
don't-
one you showed us before?
Yes. So whichever company we decide to go with, there'll obviously be some back and forth as far as what we want that to look like, as far as end zones, colors, logos on the field. So that's something that once we get into the process, that we can provide our input as far as what we want it to look like.
And who's going to decide that?
I would
You
guess
and-
who's paying the bills, so that would be.
No, I mean,
I would like to have some input, but I think.
you and your coaches, players?
Yeah, I think there's some different, color options, what do we want the 50-yard line to look like, so, I think that's a discussion we can all sit down and
Yeah,
have.
maybe your booster club?
Yeah.
When would it start? If I mean, say,
Excuse me?
when would it start? I mean,
So, right now, if we were to pull the trigger, let's say, maybe 3 weeks ago, we could have had a start date, these last 2 weeks of October. I don't know if that's still the case. Obviously, we're gonna run into winter with freeze fall cycles, rain, all that kind of stuff, so that would be a discussion we would have to reach out to them as soon as we made a decision, and figure out, which field we want to start with first.
That was going to be my next question. Will we start with baseball?
I would like to start with baseball. I think that would be a quicker project. That way we get done, before we get into January, February, those colder temperatures. And that would be probably something they would have to, it may not be an option. For them, they may want to wait till springtime hits and spring sports are done, and do our football field first, and then since baseball season's almost a calendar year away, to finish up with baseball on the back end.
How much over the original estimate on the baseball field did the final tally come in?
It was quite a bit. Football was considerably less, so we over budgeted, which is good for football, and under budgeted for for baseball. So we're looking at a difference of $27,000, being short of what we budgeted, which is about 3.5% short.
And I understand that, they're about to put $10,000 into the baseball field anyway.
Yeah, so baseball has some work with their pitch and mound, with just some leveling, just some stuff to improve the field, and have it as a better playing surface. So Coach Simmons was gonna sink in about $10,000 to bring in clay, bring in dirt, level up some areas. If baseball was done first, that would obviously save him some money of, being able to sink that money possibly into making up for some of that difference. We've discussed that as well.
We approving both or just football?
That's a decision that you all can make.
I mean, on the agenda is just approve the football.
It is.
That's kind of what I thought.
Uh-huh.
Did I mess something or did we just?
No, that's a misprint.
Yeah, I think the idea was to.
That
have
should
both
have
listed.
included, both of them there as well.
Yeah, that's what the bid was for, both of them, correct? The bid was for
There-
both
there-
fields.
Yes, there's a separate bid, there's one for football, one for baseball, and when we combine those, it's roughly 27,000 over what we budgeted for both projects.
And we did bid them separately.
Yes.
So we would have to add baseball to this because it says football on there, so.
We have to vote on adding baseball to it, or just say it's?
I think we'd have to add,
Very perfect, yeah.
I think we need to add, if we want to do the baseball, then I think we need to do them separately.
So we need to do another agenda,
Yes.
approve the agenda and then vote.
Yeah.
Can you amend?
I think we can amend since we've
Can we?
already approved the agenda.
We've already
We-
approved the agenda.
So what we can do is vote on what we have here, and then we can come back at our workshop and do an amended agenda, and that would be a special call, and do it in conjunction with our workshop, and go ahead and make that a separate item. But yes, we do.
Bitch, I
need to
wish
do
you'd have
that.
caught that when we were,
Yes.
All I saw was football. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it.
well, I didn't catch it either,
I didn't
so.
get it either.
I did,
Well, obviously I didn't either, so.
I believe it's Sheila's fault.
So we will have to do a special call, and we can do that in a coordination with our
We're
workshop
gonna meet at the workshop in 2 weeks from,
on the 28th, which is our regular scheduled,
excuse me, 3 weeks.
and
At
at
11.
11,
Okay,
yes.
I'll show up at 4.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion that we do the football field.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick. Glenn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
All right, item number 15, superintendent's comments.
Well, Board, I want to thank you for all the things that you've done to support our students, and you have just heard from some of our 6th graders about an activity that they were able to take advantage of, even in this time, this post-pandemic time. So we're so excited, and thank you, Ms. Ritz, for being here and sharing your experience as well. It's very important, and we're just very pleased that we have teachers like you who will take care of our kids when they're away from home. I also want to share with the board that we have received a request from LCAE, which is our Lenoir City Association of Educators, to enter into collaborative conferencing process. They have completed step 1, and so we will now go into the next step, which is to select a committee to do the special question. So I just wanted to bring to your attention that they have indeed submitted that, and we will begin that process that will culminate sometime during the spring. So I just wanted to let you know that they had turned that in. So again, we will have our board workshop at our regularly scheduled time, which would be October the 28th at 11 o'clock. And then we will also turn that into a special called meeting at that time to approve another agenda item for the baseball field turf. And then next week is fall break, and I see a lot of people smile when I say that. I want to thank our principals and our teachers and our students and our families for all the ways that we've supported each other throughout this fall. I'm happy to report to you that our instances of illness are extremely low, very low. We had 0 teachers last week, and only a few students that had any kind of illness with COVID or those kinds of things. We have seen some stomach virus issues, but we're very healthy at this point, so I'm very pleased to say that. We're also moving ahead with our construction at the high school. Mr. Sims, would you like to give us any update on that?
Well, they're gonna move the condensing units either tomorrow or Monday. Got all the electrical done. It's been too wet to do anything else this week. They got most of the footers poured. They got to move those condensing units before they can dig the rest of the footers. So, next week we'll make a lot of changes if we got good weather.
That'll be a good time too with students not being in the building.
Yeah, they will start working on the 2 restrooms next week. They got a lot of work to be allowed in there.
That's good. We also have put out a purchase order for all of our furniture for the cafeteria. And so we're moving right along. Those are all the pieces of information I wanted to share.
Okay. Gentlemen, have anything?
Remember, we have homecoming tomorrow evening, football homecoming.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Got a motion, Mr. Ledbetter?
Second.
Second, Mr. McNish. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Matthew Coleman.
Aye.
Rick Chadwick.
Aye.
Lynn McNish.
Aye.
Mitch Ledbetter.
Hey, Chris.
You get one.
Supper, instead of, lunch.
Well, you all messed it up, Mr. Lunch up.
So Miss Hudson yelled at me.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. You can blame Ledbetter.